I'm dealing with grief at the moment.
Your past is talking to you.
I'm just tired of heartache.
How are you processing this grief?
My mindset is so much more different than it was then.
You know, I always believe that when somebody passes, they never truly leave.
I knew I was gonna get emotional.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gemini Soulcast. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Sin.
Sin.
It's my name, yo.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day to be alive, I'll say.
It's an amazing day to be alive.
As every day is.
As every day. You gotta have a lot of gratitude.
I feel that gratitude is something that a lot of us say, but not a lot of us really implement that.
Yeah.
For you, I feel like there has been something, I guess in recent that's happened to you, which has made you kind of look at life in that type of lens again.
Yeah. So I'm dealing with grief at the moment. So I have an old friend that just passed away that I just found out through a post that his parents made on LinkedIn. I better not get emotional on this podcast.
It's okay.
It was kind of a surprise, because they announced that he passed from cancer, and it wasn't like public knowledge. Didn't put it out there. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He's just
really,
quietly fighting it.
he was just quietly fighting it, and he lost the battle. And because that happened, I started thinking, because you know how it is when somebody passes, you start thinking, right, about
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
When you met them, your times that you spent with them, conversations that you may have had, and all that. And I remembered that we used to talk a lot on Google Chat way back when I was going through my divorce. We spoke after that and whatever, but what was very like mind-blowing for me was when you go back and you read those old conversations, because you forget things.
Right.
And in the interim, as I was speaking to you before this podcast, how I forgot that he got me a CD. I forgot that he gave me a book.
Coldplay CD, right?
A Coldplay CD. And he gave me, he ordered a book for me. And, damn, Maddie. It's like, it's funny because when I'm reading these conversations, like, he's speaking to me because I'm the one who introduced him to like law of attraction and manifestation, right? So we always had conversations about that. And then he always would say, like, just like what I always say, that everything goes back to love. Like, if you're here, you should love hard, and all that. And he always used to tell me to remember. And I forgot about that whole phrase, even though it's like, remember to remember, right? But I forgot about that whole phrase. But in reading these old chats and discovering all these things that he did for me, he was really like, there was a time that he was really pushing me to level up. And sometimes we don't realize that we have people in our lives that are doing that for us. You know what I'm saying? Because they see the potential in us. And sometimes we need that. We need that, and we don't realize it, that we need that. So in reading these old chats and all that, like, I got to go back, mentally, I got to go back and experience Sin back then. And I recognized, I was like, Sin had her walls up. Sin didn't want nobody telling her what to do. I know that's a Gemini thing, but but she had her walls up. She believed in herself. She did. But at the same time, she had reasons not to implement steps. I had excuses.
Did you feel like you were holding yourself back?
I was definitely holding myself back. And Matt was his name, but we used to call him Matty. He saw that in me. Like, he would see like the potential. He would see what I couldn't see for myself, and then he would tell me how much of an amazing friend I was and all that. And, sometimes you can doubt that. I know it's going to get emotional. Sometimes you can doubt that about yourself, especially when they pass, when somebody that passes and they're in front of yours. Sometimes you'll reflect and think, damn, was I really a good friend though? was I? Even though he said to me repeatedly that I was. But it's like we even get like imposter syndrome like in that. I could have done better. Well, why didn't I speak to him more, recently and whatever else? And we did speak during the pandemic and all that. But he was also like very like business.
Sorry.
I know we don't have tissues. He was very like, I don't want to start crying because I didn't want my freaking eyeliner to start running all over the place.
It's okay. We love it.
He was very business minded. And, he was good at networking. I mean, he was good at what he did. And I feel like even in the end, like, this year, like the beginning of the year or whatever, when he was like really doing his thing, that's all he thought about was like, it's probably like legacy, like I'm still going to make things happen. And he was very positive, and that's the thing too. So like if you came out and you spoke negatively, he would be the one to sit there and be like, what are you talking about? Like, no. Mm-hmm. And he had that attitude that everybody talks about now. Like, fuck that. 0 fucks. Like, who gives a fuck what anybody thinks? You're going to do this. You need to do this. And Sin then wasn't receiving, all of those messages through him. Wasn't in that space. Nah, I would have ate it up. Like, right. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was more like, just like, him coaching, like being the coach. You know what I'm saying? And trying to showing you the play-by-play. And you're afraid to go out in the field and do that.
Well, maybe at that time you weren't, even though he was alive and guys were talking, maybe you weren't ready at that time to receive, the messages.
I wasn't, man. I wasn't.
But you are now.
But I am now. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like getting ready to go to work now, listening to Coldplay, listening to that CD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and I'm looking for the book because I'm like, now I have to read the book. I have to make sure that I read the book because I'm pretty sure I feel it. I'm going to read this book and there's going to be stuff and then it's going to feel like it's coming straight from him.
In some way, death reminds us of life.
Yeah.
Anytime we lose something, it brings us back to what is or what was, and I feel like for you, like when your friend Maddie passed away, it was like, damn, you really like looked at everything from the past, who you were at that time, and you're also probably looking at where you are now. How are you processing this grief?
I don't know, man. It's been like a little over a week that I found out, and I'm just tired of heartache. Like, I'm just tired. I don't have that many men in my life, and I'm like, as far as friends and things like that. Like, I do have friends, don't get me wrong, but like, they're close to me. So, I lost my dad 3 years ago. So that was like the biggest grief. That still comes in waves, but it really makes you think of the men that do surround you and like who are the people around you, like not just the men, like the women, like you just really start thinking about all that. But when I found out that Matt passed, immediately I thought to myself the time that my psychic development teacher said to me that I was going to outlive a lot of people in my life. And he said, congratulations.
Damn.
And I looked at him like, what? And all I could think of immediately when he said that was like, oh, I'm going to go through a lot of heartache. So I'm tired. Like, and if there's still a bunch of people I'm supposed to leave,
you still know a lot of people.
It's like, come on. You know what I mean? So now it's like I have it more in me now too. Like, yo, you know what? I got to make sure that I keep checking on my people. And I got to make sure that I'm still present and whatever else and there.
You can't take it for granted.
No.
The people that's in your life.
Even though I'm going through grief and stuff like that, and that's what's making me reflect. I'm sure there's been times now that you could look at how far you've come, or if you reflect.
Yeah.
I'm sure like even old like And that's the other thing. Like you see
Old
old
versions of
journals,
yeah.
things that you write. I look at some of my old stuff and I'm like, yo.
Yeah. I was like, damn, I can't believe I thought that or I wrote that. Like, what was I thinking? You're like,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's just amazing how much we change and how much we evolve. But when you see it, like when you really physically see something, like I'm reading these old chats or I'm looking at my old journal and seeing what I wrote, on January 16th of 2015 or whatever. And it's like, yo, this is crazy. Like some of the stuff I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I find it amazing. I find it's almost like your past is talking to you. Like the past you is having that conversation with you. That at that time back then, it was you in that present moment writing it for your future self. But obviously there's no real future self, past self, but that's just you. Yeah. But you're looking back at that and it's like, it's just having that conversation with you again. It's a really interesting thing. I do that sometimes when it comes to like music or songs or writing projects that I've had in the past many years ago that I then look at now and I'm like, ooh, I remember writing that.
Yeah.
Let me pick it up now.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm collaborating with old Rob.
Yeah.
From like 5 years ago or 8 years ago or something. And it just shows you how much has changed. Well, at least for us, because I know there's people that don't really change that much, but at least in our lives, it just shows how, even our mindset, who we were back then compared to now, so different.
And it's so interesting, right? Because when you think about it, when they tell you to manifest and they say, just write a letter to your future self and show gratitude. Like, just embody that. You know how they say, embody that person you want to become. And it's like if you're writing in present tense, but you're speaking to your future self and showing the gratitude for the things that come in, that you're manifesting.
All right.
And I'm sitting here right now and I'm like, oh, that's probably something I need to do.
Having gratitude and law of assumption, that's a great exercise to have,
And you're showing like you're thankful for, what is going to come in for you.
Yeah.
And at the time, like for me, like when I go back to that, like of him pushing me, my friend pushing me, I was doing Vein Talent Management.
Yeah.
I had just started, like, I was always managing Jade. Like since she was little, I took care of like all her audition stuff and all that. And then my friend Eve, shout out to Eve, was like the one that really came to me and was like, hey, like I really want to get into modeling and stuff. Can you help me? Because she knew all the things that I knew, because she knew I was doing everything for Jade.
Yeah.
And then she asked me to do her, and I was just there like, all right, yeah, I could help you out and whatever else. And then I took on that role of helping her, and then it was another person, and then it was another person, and it's like, yo, after a while, you have like 10 people under you. It's like, and it's moving quick. And for him, I remember him asking me like, yo, how many people you have? And at the time it was just starting. So I had like maybe 6.
Wow.
And I had just put in my paperwork to get the LLC.
Nice.
And he was already doing the numbers for me. Like he was already down the block, around the corner. And I was just there like, yo, like, and you know why? I was putting the brakes because I couldn't see it for myself. And I didn't believe it that I could get to those numbers that he was telling me I could get to. And in reading that, I was like, yo, now of course I could do that. Of course, with anything. My mindset is so much more different than it was then. And yet I'm the one who introduced him more to like law of attraction and opening up his whole mind. And then to him, it was like, nah, of course. It's your story to write. That. He picked it up right away.
Right.
It's your story to write. What's the problem?
Because at the end of the day, we're the ones setting the limitations on ourselves.
Yep.
Every time. I guess my question to you is that, like, I think sometimes when we lose somebody, especially somebody important or somebody that's close to us, I know for me, when, like, when my grandpa passed away years ago, I was like, dang, I wish I could have one more conversation with him.
Yeah.
I wish I could see him again.
Yeah.
At that time. Do you ever like think about that too? Like whether it's your dad or with like your friend Maddie?
And it's even now, like, I always talk to my dad, like, every once in a while.
Still talk to him?
Yeah, I'll say thanks to him. And now it's like I asked for Matt. I was like, yo, just give me a sign that you're with me. So I'm waiting for that little sign.
What do you think the sign will be?
I don't know. It's probably something wild, outrageous. Sometimes I think like, you know, I'm gonna see someone that dressed like him, or like he always used to wear like this hat. Like, you know, you ever see like those fedora hats? They call it? He always wore a hat like that. Like even when he worked on Wall Street, he would have his suit, but he would have that hat. It's like his signature thing. And to see the photos and stuff and video that I found of him like earlier this year, he used to shave his head all the time. And then now he had all his hair. He let it grow, which was interesting because I'm like, he's got all that hair and now he's going through chemo. And then he started going through chemo. It's like, you know what I mean? But before that, he used to shave his head all the time. And he always wore a hat. And he was one that was just very curious all the time and whatever else. So now it's like, and he knew what I did. Like he knew what I was, psychic medium and all that. But I'm just like, with that knowledge, I'm just like, what is he going to show me? Because I know it's going to be something that I'm going to be like, yo, I already know.
You know, I always believe that when somebody passes, they never truly leave.
Yep.
If Maddie was like right here, I guess, what do you think he would say to you? And then what would you want to tell him?
He would probably complain to me about getting to me or whatever else, or like, because I remember when I worked at the Queen's DA's office and he tried to reach me one time and I was like crazy slammed with like, because crime never stops, y'all. And I was crazy slammed and he sends me these voice notes and he's like, yo, no, he wrote to me and then he sent me a voice note, but he wrote to me and he was like, yo, you're harder to get in touch with than the president of the United States. He might make a joke like that, but I think he would probably, you know, tell me that all the things that I want for myself, that I can get it, that I can achieve it. I think that he's a dreamer like me. He was always a dreamer like me. But he was the one that wants action more than talk. I don't know what I would say to him if he was here right now. Probably, you know, there's one thing that he always used to tell me too, is that, you know, that he loves me. And he always used to be like, I love you, Stan. I love you, Stan. I love you, Stan. Every time we spoke and whatever else. And I would probably tell him like, yo, I love the shit out of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I never said it to him, but whew.
Yeah.
I just thought, you know, he was just always like, you know, trying. He's one to put the mirror up to you, or yeah, he's gonna be the one to push you. He's gonna be the one to be like, yo, like, what's the problem? Just go do that. That's who he was.
Hell yeah.
And even in reading those chats, I was like, yo, holy shit, he was like,
he was still pushing you back then.
He was fucking pushing the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And breaking it down. All right, you got this many clients, so if you charge this, we could get to this. But I'm here to help you with anything you need. And I was just there like, okay. Like, but I was like, yo, and I felt like, I want to say I felt like I was being smothered, but not in a bad way. It was just like
You feel a little overwhelmed.
I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, I understand.
You understand that, right?
Of course, you know.
And I felt like, yo, like, what the hell? Like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, like, back up. Like, give me a second. Give me a second to breathe. And for him, it was like, for what? Like, this is what you gotta do. Just go do it.
But everybody has their own timeline, though.
Everybody has their own timeline.
Yeah.
So I'm not beating myself up for who I was then, because I had to go through that to get to where I am now.
Yeah.
And I recognize that. But it's interesting when you reflect on old you and you see these things and you're like, oh my God. And then I think like, yo, in 5 years, whatever I'm doing right now, I don't want to look back and be like, yo, what were you doing?
Right.
Why you dragging your feet?
Mm-hmm. Pick up the pace, if anything. Right. The time is now.
The time is now.
Because we could look back 5 years from now and be, oh wow, okay, I locked in, or I committed to myself and I did this, and this is where I am now.
Yeah.
You don't know what the future is going to hold, but I think that's why we got to live in the present and have gratitude for what we do have, and to be able to really, like, as you said, or as your friend said, hey, let's push ourselves to be better. Let's go after the dreams that we want, because we really don't know when it's our time.
And I'll give you another one real quick before we wrap up our podcast. His memorial, there was like two. And one of them was September 6th, the same day I went to the Bad Bunny concert.
Oh, really?
Was his memorial. Obviously, I didn't know because they didn't post till after. It wasn't everywhere because he wasn't on social media. So his memorial was that day. And all I could think about was when Bad Bunny started telling that crowd that when he was saying, like, tomorrow's never promised. So you need to enjoy the moment, like, now. Like, enjoy it right now, because tomorrow's not promised. And he made that whole speech, right? As he, in the middle of the show, you remember? And then he was saying, too, like, whatever's happened in the past, that's it. It's in the past. Don't hold on to it.
Yep.
You know, and just love. Like, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, love each other and whatever else. And, yo, when I saw that date, I started thinking about that. I was like, yo, man, that's something he was saying too. Yeah, but it's just interesting, you know, how all that comes into play. You know, so if I never say it, Rob, I love you, but you know that already.
I love you too, Sin.
I have said that to you though. But
you have said it, and I said it to you too. You know?
And I'm grateful for you.
Likewise. Full of gratitude. I'm so glad that we got a chance to meet. I'm glad we're having these episodes here, and we're taking it far, you know. And I'm excited to see where you take your life. I know that where you're gonna be 6 months from now is gonna be very different from where you're gonna be right now. You
too.
I know.
You too. But this right here is just gonna get bigger and better.
Gang.
Gemini Soulcast, yo.
And with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in to another nice, quick little episode of Gemini Soulcast. My name is Rob.
And my name is Sin.
And this is Gemini Soulcast.